No yeast, no oven, just pure perfection made in minutes. If you love fresh homemade bread, you need to try this. Just look at these layers, flaky, crispy, and soft. You only need flour and milk to create this masterpiece, with a simple technique that guarantees perfect layers every time. Grab your ingredients and let's make something incredible. Let's get started. First, take a big mixing bowl and pour in 350 milliliters of room temperature milk. This ensures the dough stays soft and pliable. Next, add 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt. This small addition brings out the flavor and strengthens the dough, making it easier to handle. Give it a quick whisk until the salt dissolves completely. Now, I'm going to sift in 500 grams of bread flour. Bread flour gives the best structure and chewiness, but this recipe is super flexible. If you prefer, you can use all-purpose flour. It works great. Or if you're going for a healthier twist, whole wheat flour is a fantastic option. But here's an important tip. If you're using all-purpose or whole wheat flour, slightly adjust the milk. Whole wheat absorbs more liquid, and all-purpose flour absorbs less liquid. So adjusting the amount makes sure your dough stays perfectly soft. You can see here the dough is coming together, but it still looks a little shaggy, and that's exactly what we want. At this stage, the dough isn't smooth yet, and that's perfectly okay. It just needs time to absorb the liquid properly. So I'm covering it up and letting it rest for 30 minutes. This step is what makes the dough easier to work with. You know, this little break allows the flour to fully hydrate, making the dough softer and easier to knead. It's like letting the dough do some of the work for you. After 30 minutes, you can see here the dough has relaxed and is ready to knead. I'm lightly dusting my work surface with flour, just a little because too much can make the dough dry. Now I'm going to start kneading. You can see here the dough is getting smoother, but here's the best part. You don't need to knead this dough until the window pane stage like regular bread. Just work it until it's soft and smooth. That's it. Easy, right? A little patience, a little love, and we have beautiful soft dough ready for the next step. And just like that, we've created the perfect dough. Stay with me, because next I'll show you how to transform this simple dough into something truly unforgettable. If you're loving this recipe so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what flour will you use for your version? After 30 minutes of resting, the dough is now much softer and easier to handle. You can see here how smooth it has become. Now let's divide it into equal portions. This ensures each piece cook with the perfect balance of crispiness and softness. Once divided, gently roll each piece into a smooth, round ball. Now cover them up and let them rest while we prepare something special for the layering. To get those ultra flaky layers, we need just the right fat. Here, I'm mixing together vegetable oil and melted butter. This will be brushed between the layers later, creating that rich, crispy texture. The butter adds a richness, while the oil helps keep the layers light and airy. A perfect combination. Now, let's roll out the dough. First, lightly grease your work surface. This prevents sticking and helps us roll out the dough with ease. Take one piece and roll it out as thin. Now, using a sharp knife or pizza cutter, cut the dough into thin vertical strips moving from one end to the other. These delicate strips are what create the beautiful crispy texture. Brush a generous layer of our butter oil mixture over the strips. This ensures every fold has a delicious, rich flavor. Once done, cover the strips and let them rest for 15 minutes. This little break makes the dough more flexible, making the next step even easier. Now, carefully stretch the dough just a little. You'll see how soft and elastic it becomes. And now for the fun part, start folding the strips together, delicate bundle. This technique traps air between the layers, making them extra flaky. Once you reach the end, gently twist it into a spiral, just like this. The more folds, the more layers, and that means more crispiness in every bite. Now let them rest for a few minutes before the final step. Trust me, this small pause helps the dough hold its shape while cooking. Now take one of your prepared dough spirals. You'll notice it's soft and airy, exactly what we want for those light, flaky layers. Using your fingers, gently press down on the dough, flattening all the layers together. This helps keep them intact while cooking. Or if you prefer, use a rolling pin and roll it out smoothly. You can make it slightly thick or thin, depending on how crispy or soft you want the final texture. It's totally up to you. Now heat a flat pan on medium heat. Once it's warm, carefully place the dough on the pan. You'll hear that gentle sizzle as it starts cooking. Cook on one side until you see golden brown spots appearing. That's when you know it's time to flip. Now flip it over and let the other side cook evenly. Take your time here. Flaky layers need gentle heat to cook all the way through. To make sure the inner layers are fully cooked, lightly press down with a spatula. This helps distribute the heat evenly. You can already see it, that gorgeous crispy texture forming on the outside, while the inside stays soft and layered. And just like that, crispy on the outside, soft and flaky on the inside. This is what perfect layered bread should look like. This is the kind of bread that pairs beautifully with everything. Dip it in curry. Enjoy it with a dollop of butter. If you're loving this recipe so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more simple and delicious homemade recipes. And tell me in the comments, how do you like your layered bread? Thick and soft or thin and crispy?